Welcome everybody back to the Prime Major Tournament. It is the lower bracket, round number 2, Mineski going up against Arcanys Gaming. It is only a best of 1, so you lose this one, you are out of the tournament unfortunately, and well, maybe even a little bit more unfortunately for some people here, it is Philippines versus the Philippines, so one contender will already be knocked out here. But should be a great game nonetheless. We are of course HeflaTV, your English coverage for the entire event here. It's me, Coucher, and I'm going to be joined once again by Mike Lores. Man, how you doing?
Well, that last game was an okay display from Arcanys. They had a fantastic start, but they just fell apart by the end of it. So, they might be a little bit on tilt, but I don't really think they should be that much. If they just keep up pretty much the early game of last game for an entire game, then they should be looking at a pretty easy victory. But, Mineski, they're no slouches either, so it's hopefully once again going to be an even game. And because, as you said, both of these two teams do hail from the same country, I can only assume that they have played and practiced with each other quite a bit.
I would think so at the very least. Not entirely sure if it's true or not, but it definitely makes sense if nothing else. Looking at the bans though, Batrider and then a axe removed by Arcanys, but of all heroes, Mineski banning out a sniper. Mighty Savior has played a reasonable amount of sniper mid lane, but is it as scary to ban it out as the first one?
I mean, we've been seeing a lot more sniper in the first pick, and I think as a general rule, if it's worthy of a first pick, then it's also worthy of a first ban. Sniper is a little bit more on the fringe just because it is pretty easy to shut him down. Even in the mid-late game, you just jump right on top of him and he crumbles with someone like a Clockwork or something like that. But I think it's an okay ban from Mineski, but of course, this is going to lead a couple more powerful heroes in the pool, and if you can say, okay, we're going to ban out the sniper and we're just going to concede the Vengeful Spirit right off the bat, then the sniper ban pretty much only helps you.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense that way. So, Arcanys, Vengeful Spirit, that's the first one. Not all that surprising. The Chen band, oh man, what? Mineski, they've been smoking something, I don't know. Arcanys, I don't think I've seen them play a Chen for a long time. Maybe I've seen it in the past, but definitely not for this tournament, I think. Of course, I didn't see all the games yesterday. Did Arcanys run a Chen in their first game or two?
Lion.
I don't recall, so I can't give you a definite answer on that, but it's partially like banning out a Chen because people think that he's a very strong hero now and he's had this huge resurgence, but whether or not he's actually a strong hero or not depends on who's handling it. Like, you could have the best, you could have the best Chen player in the world and it might go decently, but also like if you have an average Chen player, then you're going to be doing terribly. So in that regard, I got to assume that Mineski are drawing on some past experience going up against Arcanys, and they know that, okay, well, we should probably just get rid of this problem hero right now because otherwise the hero is not too threatening.
That's a safe assumption, as Mineski picking up two supports, or at least what we can expect to be supports. Lion and the Earthshaker. If there's a core in there, it's probably going to be the Earthshaker rather than the Lion, I think, but I'd expect both of those to be supports. Is it though a little bit, risky to start with two supports, or as those two supports are extremely lockdown heavy, it might not make that big of a difference?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. As you said, these two heroes are just loaded up with stuns, and it's pretty hard to go wrong with these two heroes. They're probably going to be playing this more defensively than offensively, and this is kind of where they would want to have a sniper because he does work so well with that Earthshaker. But if you open up with these two supports, then it leaves you really open for the next couple of picks. Like, as I said, they could play this in such a way that the Earthshaker is just going to be hanging around the mid lane, making sure that that lane doesn't go terribly, and, well, because they do have that strength in the hero, they can decide to pick up a slightly weaker mid laner. So Mineski have some options down the line, whereas for Arcanys, they're going to grab the same hero as last time, Beastmaster. Got off to a fantastic start, fell off, but hopefully for the Arcanys side, they'll be able to keep up with this pressure that the Beastmaster does give you to your team.
I can't even say that why fix something that ain't broken, because Arcanys, they've ran the Beastmaster now for 3 games in a row, this will be the 3rd game in a row that I've seen. They've lost the 2 previous ones. I guess you can't really blame that on the Beastmaster or anything, but I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical about that one. Of course, you did mention that they got off to a pretty good start, so it's maybe Arcanys' like slight weakness in general is holding on to their leads, because that's what I've seen has been, or that's been their struggle for some games now in a row. Of course, practice makes perfect, so I suppose this might be another game for them to practice in.
Yeah, and it is possible that they decide to take this Beastmaster into a different direction. Instead of using the Beastmaster just to buy a whole bunch of space for a Medusa to farm, they apply the pressure really heavy early on, grabbing someone like Ember Spirit or a Slark or someone like that. Maybe not the best versus Lion Earthshaker, but heroes that can have a very early peak and will be able to actually make good on the fact that they're going to be participating in a whole bunch of kills. Very similar to what we saw in the last game, Spectre. So if Arcanys decide to go for that route, well, at the very least, it's good to run different strategies, especially since Mineski might have just been watching that last game. They might have know exactly what's coming for them. But for Arcanys, this Beastmaster does associate itself with a specific type of gameplay style that Mineski are so far very well prepared for, with all these stuns, first of all, and also heroes that can fight early on very well.
Oh god, we're gonna have a Naga Siren. Well, last time they picked up a Medusa at this point in time, which of course now is banned. Naga Siren, though, is a hero that likes to build Radiance. Without Radiance, isn't really the same Naga Siren at all. But is it like too greedy of a pick? I mean, Mineski's lineup, especially now with the troll being there as well, I don't think Mineski are gonna be like passively farming themselves and giving the space to the Naga Siren. At least I don't think they're going to.
I don't think so either, and this is not really a good game to be a Naga Siren in either. As you said, the evasion chance is going to be so annoying because Naga Siren very often, or in the late game, does tend to clump up with her illusions. So if they're missing, then they're going to be pretty unhappy. Shaker loves that as well, and Lion has two skills that instantly kill off two illusions. So a little bit down the line, your split pushing isn't going to be as strong. I can understand grabbing a hero because it's more in your comfort zone, but man, Earthshaker Lion are typically heroes that are picked up in response to a Naga Siren to try to directly counter her. So I really like where Mineski are going with this, although quite honestly, it kind of just fell into place for them because you don't really expect a Naga Siren to be picked up against your existing Lion and Earthshaker.
It's like sometimes there's an axe on one side and the enemy team picks like a Brood Mother, so you're like, score! We win! We have a direct counter already in our lineup. And well, Mineski, they go for a little bit more, even the puck. Definitely an aggressive enough hero. Also for the Beastmaster, it's going to be somewhat troublesome to lock down the puck. Of course, if you do get the Primal Roar puck, extremely squishy, doesn't have the great stealth pool. So once the Primal Roar connects, expect an easy kill to follow. But Arcanys now, it's kind of similar in their lineup so far. Are we once again going to see a Sand King? Of course, this time around, the enemy team does not have that jungler, so you're not maybe going to have as free of a time in the jungle as it would have been in the last game, but I mean, they definitely had a pretty great game for the supports last time. It just from some point onwards fell down or just pretty much flatlined for all of them. Is Sand King still a good pick though? Oh, never mind. Picking a different jungler and Enigma instead.
I think Sand King would have been pretty reasonable. As far as their early games are concerned, Sand King definitely can get a lot more going than Enigma, who typically just does like to farm. But, you know, when you're sitting on a Song of the Siren, you sometimes just got to go for the Wombo combo. And even though Mineski have like a million tools in order to disrupt that, being able to Black Hole after a Song of the Siren can instantly win you a couple fights, not to mention the pushing power that you get from the Enigma in order to pressure Mineski's base. And if you have Enigma in one lane, Naga Siren in another, then you'll be splitting the Mineski forces pretty decently and just forcing them slowly but surely back into their base. So Arcanists actually do have a decent amount of pushing going on with this pick, and I think Mineski, they can punish this Enigma if they just very aggressively rotate into the enemy jungle, but it's so very rare that we see teams do that nowadays that this Enigma probably is going to have a decent time.
Yeah, he might have a decent time, but it also means that Mineski, they're going to have a rather free time for their own offlaner. Their supports can quite easily just roam around, because at the moment, it's quite possibly a Troll Warlord safe lane, and even if Earthshaker and Lion leave the lane, Troll is still going to be just fine up against Beastmaster if that is the offlaner for Arcanys. It's just feeling, going for an Enigma, having a Naga Siren, it feels like extreme greed to me.
Yeah, it is fairly greedy, and I mean, as strong as the Beastmaster is, they really don't have that much early game compared to Mineski. Having that Troll Warlord, who is a pretty beastly hero in the early stage, also does get there late. And if Mineski want to grab someone like a Slark or something, or an Ember Spirit, throw him towards the mid lane or the safe lane, doesn't really matter, then they could end the game before Arcanys can actually get anything on this Naga Siren, because their peak is going to be a lot sooner. So I really like where Mineski are positioned right now versus Arcanys, and so far I don't really see where this Beastmaster comes into play for the Arcanys side. As Shadow Fiend is going to be the last pick for Mineski, this is going to be a hard game for the Arcanys side just to survive in the early game, quite frankly.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. I mean, I was also, I have to say, thinking about the Ember Spirits because it is also considered to maybe not be a direct counter to the Naga Siren, but a hero who can handle him or handle her. And also would have been just additional aggression ever since you get like level 6. With some rotations earlier on, even easier so because you can set things up with the searing change. Just buy enough time for the line to get close enough for a Hex, for example, but Arcanys now going for a Brewmaster. Although it's definitely a nice hero to create a space once you get level 6, have the primal split and everything. Still up against the amount of lockdown, the silences that Mineski has. Even this Brewmaster, in theory, on paper, is not going to have an easy time here.
Yeah, but at the same time, you kind of need a hero that can fight early. We were just saying, like, Mineski, they have so much early game potential, and Arcanus don't really have any. There aren't really that many heroes that would be able to, first of all, stand up to Troll Warlord and Shadow Fiend in lane, and also be able to just hold down the mid game all by themselves. You're gonna be probably picking someone with some sort of mobility tool, like it's Queen of Pain that could do it, Brewmaster that can do it, and both those two heroes typically do just get absolutely crippled by Lion Shaker. Maybe something like Viper would have been nice for Arcanus, but uh, this Brewmaster, much like the Enigma, is being picked into some pretty hard counters, and I gotta say that I like the Mineski draft a lot more than an Arcanus draft, but I kind of wanted to see Beastmaster succeed, so there is that.
As much as I want to see the Beastmaster succeed, I do not want to see a Naga Siren succeed at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit hard, it's conflicting within the lineup of Arcanys here, but I also do like Mineski's lineup a hell of a lot more. It feels like it's just more stable as far as like hero performance goes. Of course, Arcanys, if they manage to execute it correctly, they can still just make it work, but they have to have it work so perfectly for this Naga Siren to even like get close to her Radiance. Of course, it really depends. I mean, the Radiance timing will heavily depend on the Blink Dagger timing of Mineski. If the Blink Daggers for like a Lion and Puck come out early, suddenly getting that Radiance safely for Naga Siren is also harder, but without them having those Blink Daggers, I guess the aggression isn't all that scary for Mineski, or from Mineski.
Yeah, but I mean, the Puck is probably gonna have a slightly delayed Blink Dagger, and really the Shadow Fiend should have an easy time. So even though it's going to be slightly lessened if they can't get really fast blinks, it's not going to be that bad for them ultimately. As well, we have ourselves lanes, so let's see who's going to be playing what. On the Mineski side, up towards top lane is going to be played by OJ, question mark, is going to be playing the Troll Warlord, and standing in for the Shadow Fiend, it's going to be Bloody Massacre. Seems like you just forgot some vowels there. Cuckoo is going to be playing the Puck, and I'm missing one person, it's the Earthshaker, who is going to be played by RR.
As for Arcanys, Mighty Savior handling that Brewmaster for the safe lane, leaving Boombacks in the jungle as the Enigma. Heinrich heading towards the mid lane as the Naga Siren as to be expected, with Jobril Ramos supporting on the Vengeful, and the last is going to be Bok on the Beastmaster. And it really is dual offlane Beast Venge.
It's fine up against certain lanes, but Lion Troll probably is not going to be one of those lanes. If they Magic Missile the Lion, it is possible that they get that kill. But Troll Warlord is just such a nuisance to deal with because of that mischance that, well, the Vengeful Spirit and Beastmaster aren't going to be able to really follow up on the Magic Missile, and Magic Missile is really the only tool that they will have. Whirling Axes is slightly annoying. It does do some pretty decent damage, but there's no utility associated with it at all. And I mean, there's tree cutting, but that's not really going to be relevant. So this top lane for Arcanys, I don't really see it. I didn't really see it going fantastically for them from the get-go, but this still isn't really going to be the best for them. Fortunately, though, they do have an Enigma, and they do have an okay matchup in the bottom lane where it's just going to be Brewmaster versus Puck.
Good old Southeast Asian Dota is at our hands at the moment. Of course, in the Philippines, like, proper internet is hard to come by and whatnot, but having a disconnect this early in the game, not a good start to it. We're already more or less delayed by 1 hour, I think, just because, well, we had a best of 3 that was supposed to be yesterday, or at least a couple of games from that best of 3. So things are a little bit delayed, and looks like they might be delayed even further, but everybody who has casted or who has watched or plays for the Southeast Asian scene probably are kind of used to the situation by now.
Yeah, and in that sense, you are kind of allowed to cut the tournament organizers a little bit of slack, but only a little. Like it might get to a point where, I mean, it always does, where tournament organizers really lax about their own rules. But hopefully, this pause isn't going to be lasting for too much longer. Puck, as I said, is going to have a pretty average matchup versus the Brewmaster, and Brewmaster taking Drunken Haze level 1, just making it a little bit difficult for the Puck to get anything going. And the Puck will, of course, have the range advantage, a decent amount of kill potential, but the Brewmaster versus Puck matchup is historically not too bad, although, to be fair, it usually is in the mid lane.
So, would you have liked to see other matchups from Mineski set up their lanes a little bit differently, or... I mean, I guess there weren't too many choices for them anyway. Maybe like Puck safe lane with an aggressive try. Definitely wouldn't have been a bad aggressive try lane from Mineski, to be honest, but... Would you have preferred to see one?
I mean, as you said, the only real difference is send Puck up towards the top lane, put Shaker, Troll, and Lion down towards bottom. And that would be definitely a lot better at shutting down the Brewmaster. But then the Beastmaster and Venge would have such an easy time, but they won't be able to kill the Puck. So I think either way, it's going to be fine for Mineski. Maybe offensive tri lane would be slightly better, but it's only slightly better, and then you lose out in the ability to pull and stuff like that. So I would say it's probably as good as the lanes. The lanes are probably as good as they're going to get for the Mineski side. For Arcanys, I think it's probably just the same. Like, Vengeful Spirit can be on the bottom lane, but she won't be doing anything there if she was down there. So it's the best that they could do with the heroes that they've selected, I think.
Man, I'm getting totally sidetracked and distracted by the minimap. They're playing tic-tac-toe, I think it's called in English, right? Or well, they were playing it at least. It is somewhat hard because the so-called scoreboard, not scoreboard, but the board, whatever, disappears too fast. But they're gonna go for it again. Somebody's throwing hearts, sad faces. Man, the poses are the best.
And Mineski just aren't drawing anything. I like how we could see them drawing on a minimap. I don't know how, I don't know why that's a thing. I like being able to see when teams are like, okay, we're going to go down bottom lane, and then they draw a line down the bottom lane, but it is kind of weird that we have the ability to see what they're drawing on the minimap.
It is somewhat weird, but like you said, it's nice in most situations. I don't want to some of their drawings, maybe not as nice, but...
Well, I mean... You gotta do what you gotta do. See, if Mineski also saw that minimap, then it would be like intimidation tactics.
How crazy would it be though if you could see the enemy's drawings on the minimap? You could go for like... Of course then most people wouldn't even pay attention to it because most of the time it would be used as distractions or just feeding in false information, something like that. But I guess it would be a silly thing to have in this game anyway. But game does continue. Puck has reconnected. And we have the first rotation. Jobril Ramos coming towards the mid lane, but RR on the Earthshaker is close by as well, so shouldn't, or Shadow Fiend at least, shouldn't be endangered really here.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend's ability to kill the Naga is kind of there, but you need a triple raise to land, and that probably will only happen with the Shaker there. So I expect the Shaker to be hanging around this mid lane for the most part. Heinrich, if he does get a little bit of help from the Vengeful Spirit, might just be able to kill the Shadow Fiend just because Shadow Fiend is such an inherently fragile hero. But overall, the mid lane should be fairly even. Naga Siren, though, in the way she controls the lane is through that Riptide. And of course, Riptide doesn't really have that much range. Therefore, you're going to be walking into a melee raise. And I'm pretty sure she's going to be hit by a secondary raise here, as Shadow Fiend already has selected it. And it seems like it's right in the perfect angle. So this is really going to hurt this Naga Siren, and maybe even a third raise to land. Shaker not really that far away, so Naga Siren's really got to watch out whenever she steps up for those Riptides, because it's going to be very easily punished by the Shadow Fiend.
Now that Shadow Fiend has that puzzle also finished up, it's not like the Riptide harass will even be all that significant. You would still like to get it on the creeps, but going for the Shadow Fiend probably will not even be worth it once that puzzle is delivered out to the Shadow Fiend. So we'll see, but they're gonna try again because they're lagging quite extensive by the looks of things. Will cancel the Shadow Rays on Bloody Massacre, but man, 2 pauses, 1.5 minutes in. The rate of pauses is looking awesome.
Yeah, we've been paused for probably longer than we've been playing, but that's fine because maybe this game is going to be a good one anyway. But right now it's 2 minutes in, there's not enough action for my taste. We need to see like 3 kills by now, but probably wasn't going to happen in the beginning. We're going to have a little bit of a squabble for the top lane rune. Lion is going to be coming up from the side. Spike onto Bach. Not much follow-up unless they get a perfect Fissure block. It's pretty good, but there are 4 tangos from the Beastmaster. He's going to fail his first eat, and you will get through there. But hey, they get the bounty rune, so I guess maybe worth it.
Considering that Bloody Massacre managed to share bolt charges, 1 to RR Shaker, and I do believe 1 to OS Lion as well, possibly, it's fine, because they got most of their mana back for their spell usage anyway in the end. And if you look at the last hit numbers as well, Bloody Massacre 10 and 3 compared to 9 and 2. Of course, Shadow Fiend starts a little bit slower than the Naga Siren, or at least for just the early laning phase. Of course, Naga Siren at one point in time should pull ahead of the Shadow Fiend, but that's a little bit later on when you already have the Radiance, or at least you're getting close to the Radiance, having like your mirror images maxed out and using Riptide to farm up multiple jungle stacks at the same time. So Shadow Fiend should have the upper hand in the mid lane here. Troll Warlord has excellent farm thus far. Bottom lane, Cuckoo a little bit behind that Brewmaster, but of course, Vengeful Spirit has rotated in to help, so it only makes sense. And Puck still doing better than the Beastmaster is.
Yeah, but also the Shaker is just level 1. He smoked up, saw the Enigma, and just chilled, so he didn't actually do anything with that smoke. That's 100 gold down the drain on a hero that has 0 last hit, so he definitely cannot afford that. Shaker, so far, he's kind of keeping Shadow Fiend safe, kind of, and he might set up for a kill down the line, but he's not going to have that much, and this is being compared to an Enigma who's already level 4, happily farming away in the jungle. They're going to try to go for Heinrich over in mid, but Lion can take the wrong path if he just ran to the north instead. That probably would have been a kill on the Siren, but instead Siren's going to still keep herself alive. Both these supports from Mineski not really doing that much, and they are falling behind.
The Lion is definitely a just level-based support. Wants to hit at level 6 as fast as you can, just get the Finger of Death for easy kills. Although, yes, it's a long cooldown on level 1, but it's still almost a guaranteed kill every single time you want to use it. But the Fissure block, Heinrich, we'll get through it. Do we have any chant out? Never mind, level 1 Earthshaker, my bad, but 2 raises, first blood for Bloody Massacre. Good start, but like I already pointed out before, Enigma all the while is just free farming up. Level 5 already, has cleared out the trees for just easier access to the camps even. So up to 1k gold after the Soul Ring. Oh, never mind, you lose your orb, too good.
Yeah, Illusory Orb is a very balanced skill, and Puck on the offlane, I mean, that's pretty much why people put Puck in the offlane, because he could do stuff like that. And at the same time, Magic Missile is not really a threat, because it's very, very easy to dodge. So Puck is going to be comfortably sitting down in this bottom lane. Venge is kind of in the area. This Puck, though, has Shaker backup, and if Venge decides to go for this Puck, it might not turn out very well for him, because he very easily dodges the missile. There is the orb out. Unfortunately, that means that they don't have any more mana to get a kill on this Venge, and he's also hazed up. Still with the boots, though. Vengeful Spirit needs one more hit for lethal, but across the trees, Brewmaster is going to get the clap, saving his Vengeful Spirit's life. So no action happening down towards the bottom lane that will result into any kills. But still, I mean, this Puck is having a much better time than the other offlane hero in the Beastmaster.
Oh my god, they missed lethal! They missed lethal!
Chat missed lethal.
Yeah.
Oh, mid
lane. Heinrich, one more raise, a few more attacks. Bloody Massacre, another kill on the Naga, and not only, of course, does it feed into the Shadow Fiend, it's just keeping down the Naga Siren. Although he might not be too taken aback by it, because he can still recover quite easily when there's just stacks to farm up, for example. It's still nice, man. Mentally, if nothing else, as Jay. Look at his positioning, going so damn deep. Bok, of course, does not have the level 6 whirling access. Jay, are you really going to try to turn things around? Maybe a little bit 2-man mode. Has to kill the boar before he can escape, though. Bok, another set of wild access is going to get the kill if he just got enough mana. Never mind, who needs mana when you have creeps and just attacks? No clue what Jay was thinking there.
He had the most CS in the game, but all that doesn't actually do anything if you're all the way back there. And that boar, level 3, was a lifesaver there for the Brewmaster. Perfect hiding over towards mid. He tried to dive, but now a black hole. Gonna be used, will not get the kill, however. Instantly disrupted by the Lion, but still the Shadow Fiend will go down in the end. Shaker in the area with no mana, can't do jack to help out. One more hit, not quite going to do it. There is a song though, and now Lion is doomed to fall. I don't think anyone else is going to die here though, so it's just going to be one casualty. He's tried to run to the north, that's not going to work. Cuckoo is going to get himself out. Here comes Jay once again, manning the hell up because he is a true warrior, but he now has to run because he doesn't have any more allies, so he might just be going down again. The Fire Panda right on his ass. Boulder will kill him off. Here comes Bloody Massacre, and he's going to help out with the Earthshaker, giving him a little bit more mana. Cuckoo, in the meantime, kills off the Venture Spirit down towards south. Heinrich will snap the coil. That will be lethal on him. Mighty Savior going to try to run away from all this, but the double damage on Cuckoo is going to miss up the high ground. Oh, man, I feel like I've seen this one too many times. Mighty Savior might still be going down here. No, he has power treads. He should have enough movement speed to escape. That is just unfortunate for the puck.
I don't know how it is with you, but for me it feels like at some point in time there's like 3 months where you don't see any uphill misses like making differences or anything, but this month or maybe even the last week it's like uphill misses saving people like left and right. Of course Brewmaster has the dodge chance from that Drunken Brawler anyway, so it's a little bit better for the Brewmaster, but even so, it's like this week or month has been packed with just uphill misses, just saving people, and well, I wouldn't say like changing the outcome of the game because of that, but you can never count that possibility out either.
Yeah, sometimes the RNG gods are just in your favor and you escape from situations, especially as you said when you do have the evasion from Drunken Brawler plus the uphill miss chance. So it's a really, really messed up fight for Mineski. I mean, that was definitely not as clean as they wanted to be, but they're going to catch Boombacks, and they will annihilate that Enigma. No questions asked, and a very easy kill there. Mineski, though, dying twice with the Troll Warlord over the course of like a minute, probably the last thing you want to do. Troll Warlord also has decided to delay his battle trance, which I don't think I've seen before. With the Shadow Fiend on your team, I don't know if you want to be doing that. It seems pretty good to me.
And now, if he had the Battle Trance, maybe they could have dove Beastmaster like that with Primal Roar on cooldown, but not gonna go for it. I saw it a couple of days ago. Heinrich Dream coiled up, one more attack, mirror images and bottling up as well. They might not even get the kill, or will they? Yeah, he breaks the Dream Coil, slightly mistimed by exiting the range of it. Not only that, Bloody Massacre, easy triple stack, farmed up, leaves the skeletons so it wouldn't spawn anymore. Boomax though, does he have the black hole? He does not. And with the jaunt away, everybody should be safe. Maybe Bloody Massacre, does he really want to stay around for kills here? He's going to try to run now, but running in the wrong direction. No Primal Roar though. One more raise. Well, he gets a kill. Suddenly Boombacks can't do anything either. Yeah, that's legit, man. Shadow Fiend, maxed out raises. You really don't want to just randomly run into melee range of him.
Yeah, when you're Shadow Fiend and you're facing enemies that are running uphill towards you, that is the place to be. That's where every Shadow Fiend dreams they are, just because you could either triple raise, which is going to get a kill on mostly any hero anytime, or you could set up for a Requiem, which I don't believe he had at the beginning of that. He might have had it, I didn't really see, but you have two options, and either of those two options usually get you kills, so I mean, it sounds pretty good. Shadow Fiend 3-1-0 right now, and well, he is going to be going for a mech for his team, so Mineski will have that on board. Still concerning that the Troll Warlord is, you know, kind of slowing down in this game, but with the Shadow Fiend doing so well with Puck, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from his Blink Dagger, Mineski, they're pretty much right on track, especially looking at Oa. He has Finger of Death right now, so Arcanys, they gotta be a little bit scared.
A little bit, maybe even been an understatement to be honest, because a Blink Puck, like 10-11 minutes in for an offlane, not bad at all. Bloody Massacre picks up a double damage rune now on the Shadow Fiend. Already also having that 1 point into the presence of the Dark Lord means that with the Morbid Mask, if the Troll Warlord and Shadow Fiend want to do Roshan by themselves, they should easily be able to do that. Maybe a little bit risky considering you're up against like a Hawk to scout it out, a Black Hole and a Song of the Siren. So it definitely can be risky, but doing Roshan only as 2 isn't as risky as you go in there as 5. You can still have like one hero on all the lanes. Troll Warlord having lifesteal can easily be in the jungle, or at least the enemy might think he's in the jungle. Bottom lane though, Cuckoo in some trouble.
Well, he's only in trouble if the Primal Roar is in range, and it so far is not. Boombacks going to lay down the Midnight Pulse, which, you know, the plan is there. You disable the Blink Dagger, you get the stun off, and try to get the kill there, but that's not going to work out, and now they're going to try to go for a push, which is pretty powerful, as I said before. would be more powerful if they had the Inner Beast aura, but they're going to back off instead and try to contest the Roshan. Bloody Massacre has a DD rune though. Coil onto 2 in the meantime. Bach will get the Roar out, but will pay for it with his life instantly. Brewmaster going to take a fall shortly after. Black Hole onto 2. Not really going to do too much except for minor damage to Cuckoo. All that's going to be negated by the mech. Now the Fissure up the high ground. Going to connect onto the Venge. And she probably will be the last casualty here as Puck is right on top of that hero. Earthshaker also going to zone her out from the side. Venge has nowhere to run. They will give the kill over to the Puck. Naga Siren, the only survivor for Arcanys because she was nowhere near that. And Mineski also get the Roshan. That was a disastrous fight, which could have been mitigated if the Brewmaster was a little bit faster on his primal split. Up towards top, Heinrich. Looks like he will be able to slip away, but a huge fight for Mineski.
It's like, I was just saying that Roshan might be a little bit risky, but they see it coming, or they see Arcanys coming towards the Roche pit. They back off a little bit and completely pincer the side of Arcanys there. Mineski, I mean, coming in from Puck's, or with Puck from one side, getting the Dream Coil, then the other side got demolished so damn fast with Bloody Massacre, having a double damage, a couple of raises. They didn't even have a chance to just use Song of the Siren, for example. I think Heinrich was a little bit farther away as well at the time, not too sure, but just Mineski 14 or 11 to 4 being the kill score. 12 minutes in, looking at the graphs, and 8,000 net worth lead. XP more or less the same. Of course, Aegis on chain now, Helm of the Dominator finished up. Does need a couple more items to be massive, of course, this early on. Is working towards the Yasha. But man, the Shadow Fiend has the mech, has another 2.1k gold after this. What do you even build if you're the Shadow Fiend now?
You could go back to your Yule's build. You could start building some damage, quite frankly. I mean, he's clearly doing enough damage right now, and he's sitting on a pretty respectable amount of health with 1100. It's on strength treads, and it won't always be like that, but if he wants to go for like a Sanji Yasha or a straight Eye of Scotty, those are all reasonable options for the Shadow Fiend, and so far he's getting a lot of protection from his team, so maybe going into a little bit more of a Glass Cannon build is going to be warranted. Otherwise, you know, it'll be a utility item or survivability item in one way or another. It's going to be an Ogre Club, so it might just be a straight BKB, which will also be pretty good, but over towards mid, big push from Arcanys. They will take down a tier 1 tower, but it's not going to be for free because they already lost their own down towards bottom. And it's going to be an even tower trade, which, quite frankly, Arcanys should be okay with at this point.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine for them, but then again, with the tower going down, suddenly Lion picks up his Blink Dagger for Oa. Oh god, Blink Lion, 14 minutes in, it's way too scary if you're Arcanys. But the thing is, touching on the BKB that Shadowfiend might be building, and well, he is, picks up the recipe now. It's not the perfect BKB game, you can still be ensnared by the Naga Siren. You can still get Primal Roar as well as Black Hold. So maybe not the best, but still a fine choice, I think. And they find the kill on the poor Vengeful Spirit. And the Dream Coil lands on Boombax as well. He's trying to TP out, and never mind. For a second I thought he's gonna make it, but Fisher will stop it out. 13 to 4. Mineski just keep on getting kills. They're gonna get another tower down, and what's to stop them from also going for tier 2?
Probably not that much. I mean, they still have the Finger of Death, so if they find anyone a little bit too far out, the only thing that they don't have to work with is the Coil, which, although very nice, is not necessary by any stretch in order for them to take a fight. So they're just going to keep riding this Aegis into more and more pressure and using the mech to keep everyone alive. Arcanys have really no chance at defending this right now. They have a Blink Dagger being picked up on the Brewmaster. Unfortunately for him, by the time he gets to this tower, it will already be destroyed. Shadow Fiend going to claim that one. So Mineski still working with this Aegis, still working with the Finger of Death. They're getting more and more map control. This is looking like a pretty methodical game from them. And what Arcanys are waiting for is now a Relic on Naga Siren, which is still decently far away. She's not farming terribly, but 4 deaths to her name is about 4 more than you would really want in your Siren at this point.
It's like, he's getting closer to the Relic, but usually you have also drums on top of what she already has. Maybe sometimes you don't go for Aquila and go for drums instead, but it's just still somewhat hard for her to get the Relic. And even if she does get the Relic and the Radiance, let's say by 20-21 minutes in, Mineski, they won't be just put off by just the Radiance. This Naga Siren needs a hell of a lot more after that as well. And so far, Arcanys, they drafted heroes that should be able to create the space. The Beastmaster, the Brewmaster. None of them have really succeeded in doing that so far.
Yeah, I think there's been like 1 split, and have there been any roars? I think there's been like a couple in the middle of team fights or something, but the roars were definitely not used in the way you want to use them, in that you're going to roar Puck and then instantly kill him off, and then just be happy with that pick off. So this Beastmaster pick, especially for, you know, a first pick hero, rather mediocre. They're going to make a push happening over towards the bottom lane. Mighty Savior, though, going to get Hex Echo Slam there as well. However, the Brewmaster will survive and will turn things around with the split, killing off the line instantly. Boombacks looking for a black hole target. It's going to probably reserve this one for the Shadow Fiend. He's going to walk right into it, and well, he's going to take no damage, but he has no help either. He's going to turn around with the Requiem, doing a little bit of damage to everyone. Cuckoo is going to come in for the Boombacks kill. That will be a 1-for-1 so far. Mighty Savior was unable to finish off the Earthshaker. He's going to try to go and chase, but that's not going to work out either. In the meantime, Jay is pushing up top lane. I think he destroyed a tower in the meantime, so it's a 1-for-1 for Mineski, and just looking at that 1-for-1, it's pretty even for them, but that tower made it so much more so worth it. They canceled Jay's TP home, but I don't think Jay really cares about that because he could fight this one out if they really want to. Whirling Axe is going to clear the illusions, and now you have to deal with the Troll Warlord with Battle Trance. 1v3 is doing decently, 1v4 probably not as much. This Troll Warlord is going to die.
It's sick to still how long he can survive though. Aegis also was reclaimed a little bit earlier, so that's a little bit unfortunate for him, but he had to back off the moment that Vengeance Spirit came close because a magic missile is a little bit too much for him to handle or any kind of disables. Still, even though they lose the Troll Warlord, they got the tier 2, they got the Enigma kill, Black Hole is on cooldown. They did have to use a 10-second BKB, but that's perfectly fine for them, I think. The Troll also gonna go for either a Manta style or a Skadi next now, has the first ultimate orb for either one, or well, the only ultimate orb if it's the Manta style. Also RR closing in on, oh god.
Yeah, Enigma got fingered in the face, and that's never a good thing.
So RR is about 600 gold away from his blink. If the Earthshaker also gets a blink, things will get even worse for Arcanys. I mean, yes, they have 2 blinks of their own, definitely nice and everything. It's just, it feels like they cannot almost ever get into the position where to properly use it for their own initiation, because Mineski's been the one chomping Arcanys for the longest time.
And that's also something we saw in the last game of Arcanys. They were doing decently with their own initiation, but then eventually just got to a point where they just couldn't get anything done. And this time for Mineski, it's coming a lot sooner than the last game. So if you can't get initiation off, then your Beastmaster pick is pretty bad. Like, the Hawk is, I mean, the purpose of the Hawk is to keep yourself safe from initiation and to provide initiation of your own. And if you're not getting that initiation, then, well, clearly you're failing your job, Hawk. So you need to fire that bird, get a new one. But I don't really think that'll help since, well, they're going to have to deal with this push. Mineski, there's nothing that's really signaling them to go for this push right now. They're just kind of just going for it, which is probably a mistake. They should probably be backing off right now. But, man, they're just asserting their map control. And every single time they make these types of push, Heinrich is kind of needed at the front, so he's not off farming. He has to stay in the area.
He is still closing in on the Radiance fairly fast, but for Mineski, as long as they don't overcommit for this push and have Jay farming another lane at the same time, it's still gonna be their advantage, even if only by a little bit. So Jay also making his way there in the middle lane now. Maybe we're gonna push that one out, but Blink Roar onto the Bloody Massacre. Can he get off his BKB? He should be able to do so. Nice blink by Cuckoo with the Silence. Dream Coil lands on free as well. Are we gonna have a BKB? Ultimate Requiem of Souls hits quite a couple of heroes. Swap back onto Chobril. Ramos wants to get farther away, but Heinrich now, he comes in. Can he do anything at all? Has the song, but now the BKB ends and snared up. Jay arrives as well in the fight. There's the song. Can they turn things around? They have the Black Hole. They lands on free as well, but Hex comes out. Lion perfectly on spot there. Another Fisher lands on 2. Echo Slam Boombacks gonna be the one to fall. Cuckoo wants to get some kills by himself. Will get Heinrich Bock. Still somehow alive, but well, I would like to say not for long, but gets the blink out. Puck, does he really want to chase this?
Oh, he does. Man up. He doesn't have a Eul Scepter, and he's just going to die because of it. He has Eul Scepter dodge now, but yeah, that was probably a little bit too much. But other than that, man, minus that death, that fight was absolutely perfect for Mineski. Like, Shadow Fiend annihilated that Enigma, couldn't get anything out because he pretty much got hit with the full force of the Requiem. Troll Warlord coming in at the very last moment, or, you know, at the kind of tail end of the fight, and was just able to clean up there. Black Hole onto 3 doesn't mean anything if the Lion is not caught in that, and with a blink, he will be able to interrupt your Black Hole every single time because there's still no BKB on the Enigma. So Mineski crushed that fight, throw away their puck, but man, it's still a decent fight for them, and Roshan's also conveniently up in about 20 seconds, so they'll be able to snag that one shortly after.
It just wombo combo. It was real for a split second. It's just hard up against what Mineski has in general. They have the Fisher to stop the Black Hole from God knows what a range. Blink Lion even better for that, to be honest, and Earthshaker also just got his own Blink after this fight now. And what do you know, Roshan just respawned. They scouted out with the Hellbear Smasher dominated by the Troll Warlord. And that's also a... Well, there's gonna be an Eye of Skadi finished soon enough on the Ogre. Ogre Club picked up on Owa's... Oh, we're gonna have an Arcanys Lion.
Aha. That's
The
actually
plot
pretty
thickens.
sweet. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen an Aghanim's Lion get value off of the AoE component of it. But up against what Arcanys have, that's actually kind of viable. Naga Siren's illusions will not stand a chance. If she's clumped up at all with them, then it's just a free clear of all those illusions pretty much. They can't withstand a Finger of Death, at least not with just a Radiance. She needs like a heart at the very least. And outside of that, it's just a nice value item to have as Lion. And you already have a Blink Dagger, so really, why not go for that Aghanim Scepter? Hopefully he'll get it soon, because I want to see it.
I think I've seen it once. I haven't casted it getting value, but I've seen it once, like hit, I think even 3 heroes, but that's like a magical thing. You need like a Darkseer to set that up sometimes. I would definitely love to see Darkseer, Vacuum into Earthspike is pretty decent as it is. Then the Finger just to follow with the Aghanims, but Darkseer unfortunately just not a good hero these days.
Courier, no. I don't know why Courier was there, but it shouldn't have been there. It's just going to be more free cash for Mineski, and they have the Aegis and the Troll Warlord. They're just going to go to town on this tower, and Naga Siren's Radiance, now that it is up, she is going to start getting active, but, you know, your tier 3 is dead, so she probably want to do something about that. Enigma does not have a black hole yet. For another 20 seconds, he'll be offline, but Mineski looks like they will be warded away for now, but they just walk right into the enemy base and take a tier 3 with no contest. They're perfectly okay with backing off and waiting for Jay to get a little bit more health before they reinitiate in.
Yeah, they just get this guy to deliver to Shadow Fiend as well. That's also one more reason they would like to wait. Kukudu does get roared up, but is he gonna stay alive? You'll set it up. Primal Split is there. Requiem Souls gets cancelled, and they're just gonna back off.
Yeah, and Mineski, they are kind of banged up. They don't have the BKB any longer for the Shadow Fiend, but the Shadow Fiend needs his BKB a lot less than the Arcanist side need this split from the Brewmaster. So now that they don't have that split anymore, I guess they do have the Black Hole, so they're kind of trading ultimate for ultimate, but they quite frankly need all of that right now if they want to make a defense. If Mineski actually want to go for this push, which quite frankly I don't really see the point of going for this, as Raxus is very hard to take right now. They could very easily back off and extend the game for a little while longer. But if they want to go for it with the Aegis, sure, might as well just keep pushing up the high ground and see what you can get. Jay's going to charge the high ground. In fact, there's a nice coil onto 2. Vengeful Spirit already down. Bach and Heinrich going to get locked down by that Echo. Boom, Bombback's looking for a black hole. Will connect it onto all 5. And Jay will die because of it, but that's only his Aegis. Shaker will die for good. Bloody Massacre now going to wind up with the ultimate. Having the Brewmaster very low. Not quite lethal, but a spike. Plus right clicks from the Eye of Skadi means Brewmaster can't really escape. And he will almost get to his fountain and live, but he won't. That's a 5-man black hole that didn't do jack, and now Mineski are in the clear to take these Raxes.
It's just a Naga Siren dying like a second, maybe 2 seconds before the black hole coming out. No Riptide, no Radiant Burn during it. It's just almost impossible to fight, especially now that Naga Siren had to buy back as well, which means the next item after the Radiance won't come out for a pretty long time. Jobril Ramos in some trouble, but no Dagon for Kukut to just secure the kill in the end. That's gonna be just 2 racks possibly. They are backing off a little bit now, a little bit afraid of Mighty Saver, but they really shouldn't be.
You got the mech, they're gonna use the Dual Scepter on that Beastmaster while at the same time dodging that magic missile, but Puck is just messing with the Arcanist side right now. He really is okay with giving his life because the racks have already been taken. Spike out to Heinrich in the meantime as another BKB from Shadow Fiend is popped. He doesn't have anyone to help him fight though. With the BKB TP out, he will stick the landing and get back home, even though Vengeful Spirit had a swap there. They could have killed off that Shadow Fiend. Mineski, they have a 2 racks advantage 25 minutes into the game. And if any hero can recover from that, it is Naga Siren, but it's going to be really, really freaking hard.
It's just, yes, the hero in general could recover from this, but not the way Mineski has been playing so far. If they had like lesser of a lead, if they were like 5k ahead in net worth and XP, maybe so, but it's like 22,000 in net worth, 15,000 now in XP after the previous fight, so it's a little bit better with the levels, but I wouldn't give Arcanys a chance to come back into this one. Mineski, maybe they're gonna throw this. It's definitely not unthrowable, but well, if Boombax dies here, suddenly things are a hell of a lot harder.
Yeah, the Enigma isn't really a super important hero for Arcanys to keep alive right now, simply because he doesn't have a black hole, but still it's gold that you can't really afford to be giving away. It's a hero that, well, at the very least will provide a passive defense for your high ground. And Mineski barely break a sweat while killing off that Enigma, so it's a pretty easy kill there. So Mineski, they played pretty aggressively to take the mid lane, and it worked out very well for them. I don't really see them waiting for another Aegis, even though they could. They could very easily just go for a slow push up the top lane and just brute force it down. If they could do that, or of course they could make the patient play, but why be patient when you could just end the game?
There's just being no buybacks is also a major thing here. Of course, Shadowfiend's BKB is down to 6 seconds, so that's something for Arcanys, but the 6 seconds is usually enough to get the Requiem of Souls off, at the very least, if nothing else. RR though, just use the enchant totem, it's only level 1. Did he really plan to go for a solo kill as Heinrich? He's getting bash lorded by Jay on the troll, who gets primal lord in return. Necro level 3 is there, Cuckoo, nice dream coil, lands on 3 though, Jay still alive. He's gonna go for Joe Bril Ramos, but with the song, they're gonna just survive for now.
Well, maybe not for much longer. In the meantime, Earthshaker killed off the Brewmaster solo, and they do lose the Naga Siren as well, who already used the buyback. Boomback's going to get a 2-man black hole. Bloody Massacre going to take quite a bit of damage because of it, but now farming the Requiem is going to let loose. Still alive, will finally die to the Necro units. Enigma trying to escape. Eul Scepter will deny that, and he's going to fall right into a spike, and the right clicks should result in the kill. Of course, Fissure for the kill steal. But, yeah, it's all over. They're going to call GG, and Mineski, they crush their way through Arcanys.
Man, if your Earthshaker gets a solo kill on the enemy Brewmaster, it's like, that's a kill that should never happen. Yes, if there's a huge Echo Slam, there's definitely enough stun from the Earthshaker to just set it up in theory, but it still shouldn't really happen. But great game by Mineski, really. Just their draft looked extremely solid. Their execution of it also nice. So Arcanys, unfortunately, this will be the end of the road for them in this tournament. Mineski, they will advance to the next round, where they will be going up against 5 Eva, Miracle's new team. So should be another great game. Also another best of 1, but it's going to be the last best of 1 of this tournament, so that's a positive, I think. And that game should, I think, start within the next 10 minutes. Hopefully so, unless teams, once again, as always, so far, are late to the lobby. But having said that, guys, once again, appreciate that you came. Hopefully you have enjoyed the coverage so far, the games as well as the casting, of course. If you have, be sure to check out HeflaTV on our Facebook and Twitter. It's HeflaTV for both. So check us there for the casters, at Coucher for me, at Mike Loris for my co-caster. Mike, any last words?
No, just congratulations to Mineski. Better luck to Arcana in the future, and this tournament is progressing by really quickly. We'll see who is able to win the next one. As you said, 5 Eva versus now Mineski.
Yeah, it should be an exciting game, and I didn't see the game because we had Arcanys versus Signature at the same time, but they ran a Miracle Lina mid lane, and they won the game against Invasion, so hopefully we're gonna get to see another Lina game, because I want to cast a Lina, especially if it is in the core role. But guys, having said that, we're gonna head into the next lobby, and the next game hopefully will be here within the next 10 minutes.